Ladies, gents, and all those that reside here in the tavern, welcome to the TBD Tavern. I am your co-host, the Wandering Anbu. I'm joined by my lovely, sexy, hot, wonderful, amazing man over here, Silverblaze X.
He's just saying that because I feel like shit.
It's just facts, bro.
Me and my two
Uh,
little brown balls of chocolate. That's all I got left. Yeah, see, that's all I have left from my snack bag. The two little brown balls of chocolate. I found this bag. Have you ever seen these? These like the Girl Scouts? That makes it even worse,
uh,
right? That makes it even worse. The Girl Scouts Thin Mint Bites. They're delicious. I went to Home Goods and I found this and I was like, oh, I love Thin Mints.
that's a pretty
Yeah.
good sack for those. Yeah.
Mm. I hope I
I'm not
find
gonna
it.
lie.
Yeah.
My brain went completely somewhere else, and you're just like, look at the balls. I'm like, oh my God.
Sorry.
No, no, that was
I don't
beautiful.
know why.
Well done.
I don't know why when we do podcast episodes, I get really snacky.
Because it's like
But
cozy,
I always
fun.
have like snacks in my. Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right. Right. I always have
But
like
you always,
snacks here at my desk.
Mhm. I feel it. You saw those Bucky nuggets that we were getting through,
No, they're
Mr.
gone.
Oh
What do you
no.
mean?
Okay. All
Everything's
right.
gone from Bucky's. Even the fudge that you left.
Man. Oh.
Some good
But
fudge.
I'm sure. But everybody, welcome
Sorry.
on in. I hope you've gotten your meat. I hope you've gotten your food. You've been nice to the barkeep. You've been nice to the cooks. And you've been nice to the Ninja Cats, especially, because they're surveying extra hard today with the weather and everything going on. They kind of are feeling a little on edge right now. But today we are talking about the movie Novocaine, which is starring Jack Quaid. We've got Amber Midthunder, uh, Ray Nicholson, which is Jack Nicholson's son, and Jacob Batalon, who we all know from like Spider-Man or from Tarot. Um, we honestly we've got a bunch of like people that are, both up and comers, but also very well established Hollywood actors. And
Yep.
to give you the briefest synopsis of this before we dive into details, a man who cannot feel any pain due to an autodegenerative disease finds who he believes is the love of his life, and he works at a bank, and hilarity
I
ensues
know that life. Mhm.
after a heist occurs, and he wants to rescue this girl because he believes she will change his life.
She's the one, guys. She's the girl. She's the
Hmm.
muse. She's why we all do the work. Sorry. Go ahead, Anbu.
No, no, I'm just, the way that the movie kind of framed it for me, and I kind of really appreciated the way that like it changes over time with Jack's character, who, by the way, his name is Nate. So Nate falls in love with Sherry, they're the love of his life, um and yeah, and those are the two like predominant characters. But what I liked about this movie was it was set up like it felt like I was going to work with Nate, if I'm honest with you. Like
Yeah,
we got up with him, he's clearly in his routine, makes a smoothie, which we don't think anything of it. Like the way that the movie sets it up, it's kind of like I feel like a lot of people these days do, where they like do the whole like blend a smoothie for the morning, get their protein smoothie going, you know, stuck in traffic, but he's very careful, and that just seems like there's some people who are more careful drivers than California drivers. Um, and works a job that clearly he knows what he's doing. He's competent, but it's not like a wow job. It's kind of like I'm a middling manager where my life is just moving through the motions. Um, I really enjoyed that setup because when you get from there to like where the movie goes, it's like it's so interesting to see how like it accelerates. It feels like we're just watching somebody put their foot on the pedal and just like going, revving up.
but I did want to cut in really quick and say,
Yeah.
I agree 100% on like, I like how the movie just kind of like walks us through his like morning beginning, getting ready and everything, getting ready for work. I almost felt like, man, this is my life. I was like, oh man, and that kind of depressed me for a second. But
Oh.
but but I like how they pepper some like tiny little clues, right? About like the person that he is, right? Because like
Hmm.
as he's getting ready throughout the house, as he's getting ready throughout his place, his apartment or wherever he lives in, you start seeing these like little things like the little cut up tennis
Tennis
balls
balls?
to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah to like as safeties for like the edges and corners of like the desks or like the what was it, there was a for the stove, there was like a lot of like different like safety hazard stuff that he has
Yeah.
throughout the house that you're like, wait, why is this, like if I when we went to go see the movie, we obviously saw the trailer, so we kind of had an idea what we were getting into, but
Yeah.
it's a nice little treat for anybody that's like going in blind to watch this movie, to see all these like little like traces of like oddities, and you're like, why are these things covered, like why are
Hmm.
there's all these like special safety things, like for example the shower, right when he's getting ready to shower,
Oh
there
yeah.
is a little there's a little stopper that tells him how far he should turn on the water so it doesn't get too hot, right, and it doesn't burn him because he can't feel
Yeah.
anything, right? So he has all these different like special safeties and everything, right? That he just goes through the motions, and as it's he kind of incorporates them into his day-to-day routine like it's nothing. He makes them seem so natural, but at the same time we do kind of notice them, and they were like, what is happening,
Yeah.
so I
Which
really I really liked how that got just kind of like slipped in pretty cool into the
yeah.
movie.
Like you kind of just see it and like you know it's different in the back of your mind, but you're also just
Yeah,
kind of like, okay, like this clearly is like his routine. So I
yeah.
guess this is just a normal everyday thing, which
Maybe he's just
then at
quirky. Maybe he's just quirky.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally forgot about the little peg that he has on his shower thing until you mentioned it.
Hmm.
Cause like he did that. Like I remember he like got it right to that point and then went for and then did that. Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, so like, then we see in the bank, he's zoned out because they're going through their morning operations. They're like talking about their what they're expecting for numbers or whatever. And then of course we see Sherry, the love of the who we know is obviously going to be the love of his life because of the way that the camera is focused on her running in. She's running late. She like sneaks into the back. He is dead
The whole
staring
slow
her.
motion,
Yeah.
the focus camera, like you can hear, you can't, they don't really play the music, but you can hear it in your mind. The
Yeah.
like sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la. You just hear like the music, the birds, the
Yeah.
bells are ringing. That was really well framed. I liked it a lot because I didn't need to have any music playing on the
Hmm.
background to know that that's the girl. The dude is in love with her. She is like his everything already.
Yeah.
I like that as well.
Yeah, and it's like it just sets up everything so well for like what we need to know, like the bare basics, right? He's quirky, he's interesting. We know who he's like really into, and then even like and as the intro goes on with everything, we it gives us a really good picture of him. Like one of my favorite moments is when um Earl, the guy who like comes in because he can't pay the loan, so they have to
Old man
foreclose on
Earl.
his
Yeah.
yeah, where he was gonna lose his business because he can't keep up with the payments. And what was really cool is, we think not to I know, not like with banks, you often hear stories where it's like
How dare you? Just
I
kidding.
no, but I
I'm
was
not
like
on
trying to
that.
be like
I'm not on that
uh,
side. It's fine. Don't
no,
worry about it.
no. But like, you know what I mean? Like we hear stories where it's like they're heartless, they're gutless, they just say we don't care, where's our money? And here he is,
Where
he's
is
just
my
like,
money, Anbu?
yeah, no kidding. But like what I like about it is like we see this where like obviously he can't not foreclose on the business and sees it, but you see how he compromises in a way that doesn't jeopardize him, but also helps Earl because he says like I'll process this paper in over the after the weekend so your Social Security benefits can kick in for your wife so that way you don't lose your home. And so like I thought that was kind of that adds to this picture of like this really kind-hearted, gentle soul, quirky, gentle soul, where we're getting this really good idea of Nate's ideals and like and personality.
Yeah, let me backtrack really quick and let me make a correction, sir.
Why?
He doesn't work for a bank. He works
Or
for
is
a
it a
credit
credit union?
union.
Okay, that's fair.
There's a difference. Credit unions are better than banks. Credit unions allow people to be closer, have a better relationship with their clients, similar to with Earl, right? That's why Nate is able to hold back on those paperworks, know what's going on, have that sort of relationship with his
Hmm.
client and know what's going on, why they died. Because they have that nice little conversation, right? Like
Yeah.
Earl lost his wife, you know, it's sad that he has a very emotional conversation with Earl, and Nate has a very emotional conversation with Earl in his office while he's visiting the credit union. Um, and
What was it again? Silver?
uh, it's a credit union. And yeah, just banks don't have that versatility. Like it's always
Yeah.
process, process, process. So that's why I appreciate credit unions because at least most of them are really for their communities. And clearly you could see it right with Nate. Um, for which is a really funny contrast, right? For like a man that can't feel jack, he has a lot of heart,
Hmm.
you know. Um, so he feels for Earl. He knows he had a loss. He knows his business has been struggling. And that's how he's able to help him out a little bit, give him a little bit of breathing room to try and maybe sort stuff out and maybe things will turn up in a couple of months. But yeah, that was a really cool conversation that they had. It was a really cool interaction that they had. It was very human. Again,
Yeah.
kind of like also again to me contrasting again him not being somebody that can feel things, right?
Yeah.
Um, but
Well,
yeah. Mhm.
I also really like how this movie, even like you said, like the little small things that tell you that something is different, they also make some of them feel natural too. Or like you would think is odd, but you could also see why people do it. Like when he's getting his coffee, for example. You remember how like it was the drip coffee, but he had a lot
Mhm.
of ice in it so that way it wouldn't burn him. So there's like those little things where it's like I honestly could see somebody in my office doing that, right? Like I feel like there's a lot of people who would probably consider doing that as like an iced coffee. But we know it's because of his condition, but it's like those little things I think are really fascinating. Um and then like what was it? And then does Sherry spill her coffee on him at the coffee machine, or was it like walking by? I don't rem That's the part I'm trying to
She
remember.
bumps into him and he as he's pouring the hot coffee over his iced coffee, it falls all over his hand and gives
Right.
him like third-degree burns immediately, which by the way, how hot was that coffee? I think that's an office safety hazard right there. But because that's wild that immediately gave him like, all these blisters
Yeah.
instantly. And I was like, man, I've been a barista. I've gotten my burns, but not that bad, man. Like no,
Yeah,
like
this
that must have been like scorching hot. Like what is going on in that office
dude.
that coffee is like tar.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah,
makes you
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it makes you think of like the famous McDonald's coffee incident with the lady who ordered just like that coffee
Yeah,
and then it was super hot and then she had to have a lawsuit to get like compensation for how much damage
yeah,
it did to
yeah.
her. It's
I mean,
insane.
logically, you're saying coffee, yeah, it's hot, duh, but it's not supposed to be that hot,
Yeah.
right?
Th that's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, but sorry, I know we we went a little too deep there on the coffee, but so yeah,
We're
you're
not
right.
deep
That's
enough.
how Sherry meets the girl, interacts with Nate. He's like, oh no, it's okay because he's super awkward, right?
Yeah.
Um, you can tell, we can already tell. We have a picture of him based off on his morning, based off on his interactions, his look, you
Hmm.
know, you know that he's reserved, quiet, awkward, right?
Yeah.
So when the pretty girl comes up to talk to him, he's like, his reaction is like, "Oh no, it's okay. Don't worry about it." Blah 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 blah, etc. And she's like, "Oh my god, dude, whatever. Like, look at all those boils." He's like, "It's no big deal. It's all good." And she's like, "What, dude? I just assaulted this man with coffee." Um, and but he just, he walks away because he's scared. He got scared. It happens, man.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happens. Pretty girl, we've all been there. And he returns to his little man cave in his office and immediately starts, taking care of his wounds, because even though he can't feel anything, he knows he needs to apply first aid for stuff, because at the end of the day, infections are real, guys,
Yeah.
and they can take you out. They can give you fevers. They can cause so many different things, even if it's just like blisters, like tiny little blisters. That's why whenever, if you guys have you ever gotten like a burn, like a bad burn or like a bad sunburn, and have you ever had like a fever afterwards? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's literally your body trying to like fight off that like infection that's probably happening there, right?
Hmm.
Your body tries to regulate itself. So yeah, a lot of serious things can happen if you don't address like burns like that. So he knows all of that. And trust me, he knows a lot more than that, and we'll talk about it soon.
Yeah.
But uh this girl, she's really like trying hard, because she goes and chases him at his desk, right, at his office,
Hmm.
and even and offers him lunch, and you're listening to the conversation and you can see her mannerisms. She clearly is into him. She kind of likes him. um the dude is adorable, right? So
Yeah.
girls like that. He's adorable, he's silly, he's weird. Girls like that, you know because it's not threatening. So she's clearly into him. She's giving all these like flirty things. She even offers him lunch, but he's awkward, and he's like, "I'm good. You don't need to make up for it. It's okay. I don't want lunch with you, beautiful girl of my dreams." And when I heard that dialogue in the movies, even I went like, "Bro, come on. She just asked you for lunch, dude. Say yes.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?" You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But he remembers that conversation that he had with Earl. And we kind of skipped it. He had a
We did.
conversation with
Yeah.
Earl when he talks about his wife that passed away, right? And he asks like, how did you know she was the one, right? And he gives him this very, meaningful conversation of how she just like made him feel good, right? So he remembers that combo, and he's like, you know what? And he actually goes after her and says, you know what? I am free. Let's go have lunch,
Yeah.
right? So hey,
I
score, good job, good recovery. He
hmm.
gets it. He gets that pie. Because guess what? They go for pie.
Yeah.
Cherry pie.
Well,
The best
and
kind of pie.
I what I liked about it was I think Earl says something about how like she lit up his life and she made the world move. It was
Yeah.
very poetic. It was very beautiful. And so like I mean as you're gonna see in the in like these moments with Sherry, because we're gonna get a lot of Sherry screen time after this, like you can see how
She's his cherry pie.
oh
Da,
my
da, da,
God.
da, da,
Yeah.
da, da.
I feel like, dude, I feel like the writers knew that that was gonna be like the thing that people were gonna hear because she likes their cherry pie, so it's like
They
Sherry
missed out
Cherry.
on a good like fantasy like opportunity where she just like walks out looking all sexy and everything, and she's my cherry pie. And but
Play that as
no.
she's walking away, like
Yeah.
or walking in. Yeah.
Think, yeah. What the hell? Dan Burke and Robert Olson, or the writer Lars Jacobson, missed opportunity, man. Whatever.
Yeah. But like, I guess what I liked about it was how you can see how colorful his life kind of immediately is with her. Like, look at the
Because he's
coloring
white.
in the diner. Because he's white?
Yeah, he's just like he's white, so he needs color in his life.
Well, okay,
And
fair, but I mean, like, also,
Amber Midthunder just brings it.
but
She
like,
makes
again,
she brings the Midthunder.
oh my gosh. But like, think
Huh?
about how, but
You're
yeah, you
welcome.
got the, oh my God. But think about like how his suit is. Think about, but I'm just saying, like, think about like how everything is kind of like black, gray, and white for the most part in
He said it
that we
again
see
too.
with. we see in Nick's like costuming and like in the design of everything. And then Sherry is like, let's go to the diner. They have like the best sandwiches, and everything is so much more colored and like vibrant. It's a night and day difference. So it's to me that was really good symbolism of like how she immediately lights up his life. Like she makes him happy. He's excited to be there. Life is different. He's making bolder choices. And in this in the diner, he tells her about how, his condition and why he can't eat a sandwich and why he just gets a milkshake because he has this auto-degenerative disease. And
So that's also like a really cool way that they introduced everything because I don't know if you remember, but up to then, he had the movie, the dialogue had avoided everything having to do
hmm
with his condition about not being able to feel pain. Because again, all we've been seeing have been all these like quirky things, all these safety nets that he's put in place, all these like weird, like, dude, what is wrong with like why aren't you not feeling pain? Right.
yeah.
But they literally saved it up to like maybe what 30 minutes almost into the movie to be like, so I'm broken, you know?
Yeah.
I have this issue. And he actually goes into detail and tells us exactly what he has, right? That's sort of what is it, the degenerative
Yeah, I think
uh
it's an
or
auto-degenerative disease,
autogenerative
or
disease?
because like it affects the central nervous system where he can't feel like
Mm-hmm.
pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because she tries
yeah,
to offer him sherry pie. And
not
it,
cherry, but the cherry pie. Yeah.
sure. And you know, she's like, dude, come on, you really need to try this because like that's why I picked this place for us to come have lunch because they
hmm
have some delicious ass pie, right? Because he also didn't want to have anything to eat. He ordered a shake, right? Which
Yeah.
is like, okay, cool, yeah, maybe I can appreciate a good shake, but um, I would still have some pie with it or something else, right? Uh, but no, he doesn't order anything solid. And that's also another thing is like, why are you not, or are you, like, at some point I was like, you can't be broke, bro. You work as a assistant manager for a bank, you know?
Credit
Well, sorry,
union.
credit union. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I apologize. I'm sorry. But so it makes you think more. It's like, what's happening here? Like,
Yeah.
and she orders that pie that's supposedly what that place is known for, and she wants to feed it to him. It's the whole romantic scenario that all boys want, right? I know women say, oh, there's only one thing men want, right? And it's not that, guys. It's cherry pie being given to you by the girl that you like, right? There's
Can
nothing better than being fed by the girl that you like. And that's what she tries to do. But what does my man do? He loses his shit. And what does he do? He just goes, be gone, thought. He literally slaps that fork away from her while she's trying to like feed him. Be like, say that that famous anime scene where the anime girl tries to feed you from her bento.
hmm
Anbu, what's wrong? Are you okay?
No, no, please keep going because I have something that I feel like I'm overthinking the symbolism of this, but I'll say it after you're done talking about the scene.
No, I'm good. Go ahead. Tell me.
So you know how like eventually he actually takes a bite of the cherry pie and he's like, "Oh my God, is this pie?" Like how excited he
Yeah, he
was and
he
like
he orgasms. He
yeah.
goes, oh,
So
ah.
so I thought about how like there's the whole I'm sorry, chat. I'm gonna be making a weird if it's a weird comment, forgive me. This might be the cancel Anbu
It
moment that
can't be
you've all
weirder
been
than
waiting
me,
for.
guys. It's fine. He
No,
thinks it's weird, but it's
but
probably
like
very vanilla.
cherry pie, think of like how there's symbolism in like popping someone's cherry
Oh
and she
no,
feeds
no, that's weirder. I stand corrected. That was weird as fuck.
really?
Continue.
Okay, but like she's popping his cherry of eating solid food for the
Yeah,
first
no, it
time.
doesn't
I
get any
feel like
better.
the writer,
It
I
doesn't
feel
get
like
better
the
as he
writer,
repeats it. Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
feel like the writer was maybe I'm like overthinking this,
Popping
but I feel like
cherry.
there's
Her name is Cherry, and they having pie. Okay.
and he's eating for the first time and it's a cherry pie. Okay, never mind. The point is like this dude has pie
Wow.
for the first time and he's
Are you
excited and
listener? Are you cringing? I'm cringing. I have goosebumps right now, but it's okay. because I love this guy. Anyways, yeah,
So, okay, anyway, as we all cringe together collectively at this Anbu's weird thoughts for a hot moment, we see
that's why
him.
we don't. That's why we keep him inside on.
Hmm, sure, sure. But I like how like then we get him back to being his like usual self. He's like playing video games, he stays indoors. Now that we know his condition, it's like, oh, this is why he like spends his time playing video games. And he's talking to his friend who he says he's got like a sick man bun going. He gets all the ladies because I think Sherry invites Nate to her art show, right? Like that Friday. And he doesn't want to go because he's afraid he's like he just like doesn't want to change his routine and
Oh yeah, yeah,
he's like yeah, yeah. And then the other guy who is so Roscoe or Jacob Batalon is like saying you should go like if this girl invites you to to like go with her, why aren't
yeah.
you going to go see her? And we're seeing Nate come up with all these excuses because like this is different. His life has been very safe, right? He just works and goes home, plays video games all the time, doesn't really eat solid food. Like everything is about his safety. So it and but then you know Roscoe's like, nah, bro, as somebody who is a certified ladies man with the man bun, pulling girls left and right. Like, you need to get on that. Like, you're never gonna have a girl if you keep this up. So Nate's like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to the art show. Deuces later.
Mind you, this certified ladies man is they're having this conversation while they're playing like the game, the movie's version of
Of
WoW, World
what?
of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And Jacob, I'm sorry, Roscoe is his online friend he's been playing video games for years, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the moment I don't,
It's like you
he
knew,
does not
right?
sound like a man bun guy. I'm sorry, he just does not
You
sound like a man
knew.
bun
You
guy.
you knew. Yeah. Like you can just tell like when somebody's trying to act like that, dude, like we know.
Yeah, however, I will appreciate that at least he because of Roscoe, he stepped up, you know?
Yeah.
He went for it. And I don't think if he didn't have Roscoe pushing him, even though Roscoe obviously is not what he was describing himself out to be,
Hmm.
sometimes all you need is that good friend that'll push you to do something different, you know. So yeah, he went for it thanks to Roscoe, and he goes to the art show.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Which is
apparently Sherry also paints.
yeah. But what I will say, just to kind of move it a little bit more on ahead, is what I like about this moment with the art show and then him showing up and then him grabbing drinks with her is we see how they connect over their own little secrets and like their own issues and like how she's vulnerable with him because you know we see in the diner he was super vulnerable with her and here she is like let's be vulnerable like I'll be vulnerable to you like this is what I've been through I'm adopted, like drops all these things that I think is, you know, intimate. And so we kind of get this portrayal of like these two are clearly having a connection and into each other. And then of course, in any true good movie fashion, you get the douchebag who comes in and goes like, "Oh hey, it's Novocaine. Look, he's still alive. I thought he'd be dead by now." And you know, again, that this moment kind of lets us see how Nate reacts and how Sherry responds. I mean, you know, you see him wanting to walk away because he also has a time, like, I think he says he has like a timer to say when he's got to go to the restroom, because if he doesn't, he could run into complications. But you kind of see like this moment where Sherry can see he's clearly hurt by this and, um, and really see their connection on a personal level.
Right. This is at the bar, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Where Nate and Sherry are having drinks, and you're right, they're connecting. I had completely forgotten about that. But yeah, just like the stereotypical, like Ambu had said, the stereotypical douche from like school that, would tease you, make fun of you, and give you weird nicknames. And that's where she finds out he's nicknamed Novocaine because that's the name of the movie. Anyways, uh But yeah, I like how Cher reacted. It's kind of like the stereotypical cheesy way that you would hope a girl reacts if like you step to the restroom, you come back, and then there's some dude trying to pick up your girl, right? She handles it pretty cool. Yeah. What is they? Oh yeah, he tricks the douchebag to drink shots of
She does, yeah.
of
She
uh,
tricks
of
him into
hot
drinking
sauce.
the ghost pepper hot sauce.
Yeah, he gives one to the douche, and then he gives one to Nate. The douche doesn't know she's about to have like a shot of literally ghost pepper hot sauce. Nate can't even feel it, so Nate's like, sure, whatever, bro.
I don't even think he drinks
And
it. I think just the
no, he did. He
douchebag
he
drink.
he shot
Oh,
it.
did he?
He
Oh,
did too. Yeah, he just did not feel it because
damn.
he can't
Yeah.
feel
He
pain.
can't feel anything like Novocaine.
Yeah,
Yeah, got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool. She got him, and then even says it out loud. Hey, I think it's time for you to take me home. Take
Yeah.
me home. Take me back to your place. He says. She says it out loud in front of the douche, right? Because
Hmm.
you know the girl gonna get to go with him, right? Not the douche, but Nate. But she says it aloud. Oh, and then tricks him to pay the tab too.
Yeah, she says to put it on douchebag's tab. That's right.
Yeah, and douche can't even talk because he's like
Yeah,
he's
because
just
he's
dying from
dying.
like
Yeah.
the hot sauce. So all that is super cool. The girl's like all the check marks, like sweet, mindful. She just like totally got rid of the school bully that I had that nicknamed me something that I did not enjoy and used to beat me up. Check. It's like, man, this girl's gonna get it tonight, you know? And then what happens, Anbu? Does she
And then
get it
they
tonight?
well, they do go back to his place, and then funnily enough, flipping this, I feel like it like subverts from typical like romance comedy movies. We see him like start taking off his shirt because she's like going like giving him hints like you know what's gonna happen right now, buddy. And then we see that he has like, all these tattoos. I was not prepared for the tattoos, dude. Honestly, I was like,
Uh-uh.
what happened? Because he looked like the very stereotypical like salary man wouldn't have tattoos, just like whatever. But no, he's like decked out. He's tatted out, and what we find is that this is his. He's like drawn this story of like it's like a fantasy story like that he wrote on himself, used himself as a canvas and everything. And then like she does the whole little cheeky like they sit on his couch, she's like, "So you can't feel pain, but can you feel this?"
Can you feel this?
And obviously he's like, "Yeah, yeah." So, but like I again, what I like about this movie and what I love that it does so well is there's this moment where when she's also getting ready to partake in these activities, he notices in something that she's talked about because she's in a recovery group for people who used to um harm
Oh yeah, that
themselves.
hit me. That hit me pretty strong. I
Yeah.
was like, oh wow.
Yeah. That was sad, honestly. It just like it broke my heart to when she talked about that and then like, to see this moment where again, very vulnerable because you think about how intimate and personal it is to share, people being able to see that. Because, a lot of you think about how people there used to be a stigma if you had those marks on you, right? But here he is, he's accepting her as who she is, and you see this reciprocation of like,
He calls her beautiful.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
Like she takes off her blouse, right? We're looking for all these nice boobage, but then you see all those scars, and then she's kind of maybe expecting like for him to make a big deal about the scars, but instead he's like, "Wow, you are beautiful."
Hmm.
Right? Because I guess he
Yeah.
also, like you just said, he realizes like I've been vulnerable, she's being vulnerable, and that just makes her even more beautiful. If I already thought she was
Hmm.
beautiful, now it's like, wow, she's perfect.
Yeah. Well, and then also you remember what she says about like how everybody wants has their own secrets to hide and like
Yeah,
things they don't like about their past or like who they
yeah.
are. And it's a very beautiful moment because you kind of see them now connect in a way where, I think a lot of people crave, but sometimes they don't find, and it's very sweet. So we get this moment of really it's a really charming moment, is what I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful moment. And then they do the dirty. Yeah. They get down. Let's go. My man's cherry just got cherry pied, and it was great. Why? Because next morning we get to go through his day, but his day is different. This time, my dude's got that like the whole like boogie, beat going on his
Yeah.
day. He's like da 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 da. Da. He's just like he's grooving, man. He's happy. He's still doing his little shake. He's taking a
Well,
shower, but
he
now
actually eats one of the cucumber
he's
pieces,
happy.
remember? He actually
Oh
like
yeah,
bit down on something and he was like excited because
he's like,
she opened his
ah,
world.
and then starts bleeding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, definitely
He
not.
wasn't bleeding. He wasn't
And
bleeding.
he died, and then that was the movie.
And
No.
at the end, closing
Yeah,
credits. Bye, guys.
Novocaine.
Pay your
Bye.
tabs. Novocaine. Uh, but
But
no, no,
it's
yeah, yeah. He has
yeah.
a nice little pep to his step, right? Because he got laid. My man got laid for the first time. He's happy. Everything's going well. He goes into the office. He sees her. She's smiling. She's doing her job at the. She's one of the not. It's not a cashier.
She's a bank
The
teller
term. She's a bank teller.
or
And
credit union teller or just a
no,
teller
no, it's just a
says
teller. Yeah,
yeah.
she's a teller. Anyways, she's a teller and she's doing her job. He's smiling. He's looking at her through the window. He's like, ah, man, I love this woman. I am going to be the happiest man ever in the whole world, wide world, or whatever.
Hmm.
And then, because the movie's not
What
over,
yeah, what happens? A bank robbery, of course. And
credit union robbery.
a robbery happens. It's Christmas Day, everybody. So his Christmas present was he got laid, and now he's found the love of his life. And then the second present comes in of them getting robbed. And um, they're dressed up as Santa Claus. They're doing the whole like timing for when the police are gonna get there, trying to like get the code from the manager, who by one of them we know is later as Simon, who then actually kills the
The
bank manager or the manager,
manager.
um
Yeah.
kills the manager because he wouldn't give the code. And then like and then they turn to Nate and then for try to get him to give the code, but they threaten Sherry. So he's like, bro, love of my life? Hell no. Like I don't want her to die. Like what
Don't
are you
mess with my
doing?
girl.
Yeah, so then
Yes.
he gives him the code. And then he's hoping that's it. They're getting their money and everything else. And then she gets taken as hostage, and they run off and they murder all the cops that show up because the cops show up early, and they're in two cars, they're trying to get away. And then our boy Nate gets up after he's like kind of had his head ringing from getting hit by one of the robbers, and is like, I'm gonna take this police car and I'm gonna go save her. And the cop is like looking at him like he's been shot in the leg. He's just like, don't do it, man. Like, don't. It's not worth it. Don't do it. And then he's just like, sorry. Like, just takes the car and just gets going.
I'll bring the gun back. It's okay. You're
Yeah,
you're gonna be fine. Just keep pressure on that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take your car. And it's he's just so silly. But
yeah,
but I did want to say that the three robbers came in really prepared. Those cops from that little town were not ready with the fire that these guys were bringing. They had like full auto like rifles on them. They destroyed the trooper, all the vehicles and the police. They just all got wrecked. It
yeah.
was horrible. They were very well trained, right? Which later on we ended up finding out that these robbers were our former military, or
Yep.
they did some sort of
Well, they've been
serving.
doing this for a while. They do we find out later that like there's a whole operation behind it. They've been doing this for years. We'll save the big twist to that component. That was actually hinted at by Sherry, by the way, at in the beginning when she's like being vulnerable with Nate, but we'll talk about that later. Maybe I accidentally gave it away. Fuck. Um, but no.
Yikes.
Yeah. Well, more Anbu cringe. There you go,
First the
everybody.
cringe comparison of cherry popping, and now this.
I know.
You're on a roll today,
Dude,
buddy.
this is a bet.
I still love
This is
you.
like, hey, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You gave me grace after calling a credit union a bank. You gave me grace for my cringe talk, and now you gave me grace for spoilers. I just
Ruining this. Yeah, it's okay.
yeah. Yeah.
It's yeah.
But like what I love about this again is like Nate is a whole different person. His life has literally been changed by this one night. And the dude is chasing them with a cop car. They're shooting at him. He's like ducking. He's doing the oh my God, like but I gotta get her. And then, we see this moment where they split the cars to where one's going one way and one's going the other. He is hoping he follows the right car to get Sherry because he's like, I
Mm,
gotta save her. She's a hostage. This can't happen. Um,
mm,
and you know, as it's the wrong car, unfortunately. Instead,
right.
he chases one of
Yeah.
the dudes with the money. And this is where the movie really cranks up a notch in the action department.
Oh yeah, and it
Because
gets cool.
yeah, yeah. Do you want to talk about it? Like, go for it.
No, have at it, man. I feel like I've talked more in this episode.
You've just been making sure I'm keeping us like keeping it accurate, with the credit union and everything. Appreciate it. We've got like imagine like edited in like fact check in Novocaine. This is actually what happened during this timestamp. To be like Anbu incorrect number like 50 or whatever. But like we get this really good action sequence where
Mm.
Nate isn't, he's not a fighter. This dude has tennis balls to keep himself from running into corners so he doesn't break a hip or doesn't, I don't know, like roll his ankle and then die or something. And now he's fighting this dude in a kitchen who's like, you've never fired a gun before. You don't know what you're doing. Like, what do you expect? So it's a really good fight sequence. Like, it's very well choreographed. He's
It's
like,
funny, it's
walk,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like and this is what I like about Novocaine too, is like there's a lot of comedic moments that are kind of interspersed in this movie. So you get a lot of like intense moments, but then you get comedy to break it. So it's not just like nonstop action or drama. And it's very self-aware, I feel like.
It's very Jackie Chan comedy action-ish,
Yeah,
right? Because you have a good
yeah,
mix of like action, some sort of not really acrobatics, more like poor Nate gets tossed around a lot, but he's not feeling
yeah.
anything. And then you get the comic relief moments in the fight, and it's very well made. It's actually one of my favorite scenes is that whole fight in this kitchen that they break into while Nate's basically trying to get information on how to get his cherry pie back from robber number 3. You know, and
Yeah.
it's a good one. I don't even really want to spoil it. I hope you guys go check it out. It was fun. It was
I
great. I
mean,
had a great time watching it.
I would say hands down, like I agree with you. There's kind of like as the rest of the story goes on, I really don't want to share much more because there's just so many fun moments that I feel like it would take away from the movie
Yeah.
if I went too far in.
Yeah.
But like there's these moments where you'll get like intense action sequence, then a comedic moment that's perfectly timed. And I think they did a great job with casting Jack Quaid as Nate because he's so perfect in like that aloof, goofy, quirky guy that also is getting very lucky in all these circumstances.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And we've seen
yeah,
him play this sort of role before in the boys, right?
yeah, yeah.
So he definitely taps into that other character very well in this movie.
Hmm.
I think that's why he's able to play it so well. Um,
Yeah.
but
Well,
but I like how they bring in Earl back in to kind of help
hmm.
him out. I like how they bring in Roscoe also. He finally finds out that he's turns out he's not a ladies' man. Surprise, surprise.
What?
The
I want a
Randall from
refund.
the internet that you've been playing years with, this MMORPG game, turns out is
Yeah.
not a ladies' man. What a surprise.
I
Can you
was very
believe that?
surprised.
No.
But
Tweet about
like
it.
I
Mhm.
but like overall, I felt like what this movie did a good job was like because they used his condition really well to like make these action sequences. I don't think any other movie would have gotten away with as much like with like some of the stuff that he does in order without like using the premise of him having like the inability to feel pain. Because there's some moments where you're watching like, man, that's gonna suck later. But then like
Yeah.
it works in his favor so well.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, he uses his disability, his illness, right, his condition as a weapon, in many times where it's like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
oh my god. But they also like, they don't make it unreal either, because like,
Yeah.
if you hit, even if he can't feel pain, he took a lot of beatings to the head that actually took him out a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
So I like that that was still kind of realistic to a point, right? That it
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
like, it wasn't too like unrealistic. And I also appreciate that, uh Sherry, and because they group up with a detective, he
Yeah.
gets called a superhero, you know and that kind of, to a point, kind of like fuels him a little bit. His inner kid was like, yeah, I am a hero, that's right, I
Yeah.
have superpowers, except I bleed and I could die, and my life expectancy is very short. So
Yeah. I think he said it was like what, 16 or something like that, but he was
20s, mid 20s.
yeah. Well, no, yeah, that was crazy. But like to go on what you were saying about like with his injuries, like there was a point where they were like, dude, you've lost a lot of blood, and then he had to use an EpiPen to get adrenaline so he could keep going, because he's like, I've got to handle it because of like other circumstances where with like the cops and everything.
Yep.
It's just funny, man. I mean, honestly, it's just so well done. And like the buddy cop drama, like comedy drama situation too was really good. And it just is consistently great throughout the whole entire movie. Like we even see like his dynamic with Roscoe where they were internet friends, but now they're actually like friends, right? Like he's not just a random stranger anymore on the internet. And we see how they actually connect more, especially at the end of the movie. So I really love how like all of these things that we're introduced to end up like having a purpose in the movie.
Sorry, the streaming light, my streaming light just
Oh.
turned on its own, so I was like,
You're like, excuse me?
the I had a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
We're actually recording a little bit later than we had wanted. So, as I was about to, like, literally, because we were just syncing up, and I was like, all right, we're good to go in 5 minutes or whatever. And like lightning strikes and everything just goes off. And I'm all like, really?
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
But it came back, and but since then all my stuff has been kind of funky and weird. Um,
Well
you
then
know.
let's close it off with here and just say this. Personally, what do you think? Recommend it? Do you think people should go see it? Should they see it in theaters? Wait to stream?
Uh
What would you say?
well, because it's already been out, good luck getting it in theaters. But if you can, go for it. Definitely a good time, a good laugh. It's a good little date movie, honestly.
Yeah, I
You want to
agree.
bring the girl that your own cherry pie.
Oh my God, you're never gonna let
It's
me
a
live
good
this
time.
down.
And you might get your cherry pop too. You never know. Um, Definitely a must see. It's a good date night movie. But if you can't go to the movies, wait for it to come on streaming. Definitely worthwhile watching then too. Uh, would I buy it to own it? Yeah, I would. I would
Yeah,
buy it. I would buy this movie. Not just leave it for streaming, because when they don't always stay forever on streaming services. I would buy this movie. It's one of those movies that I feel like you can always come back to and watch on a movie night every other 5, 6 months. But yeah, it was a good movie, easy to digest. The dialogue was great. It really lets you live that Nate life, and it's super relatable. It's just, I guess, what I like so much about it is that even though this guy took a chance on a lot of things, it's almost a lot of it is pretty um possible, in my opinion. A lot of what happened in this movie is actually very possible. There was no supernatural anything. There wasn't superpowers. It just, some dude used his disability and took a bunch of, made a lot of weird, crazy decisions that he normally wouldn't do, and made a lot of things happen, and he ended up, you know
Yeah,
being the superhero of the story. It was cool. I liked it.
I agree. I mean, I especially think it is a fun date night movie. As somebody like my partner and I, we go see movies a lot together, and
Mm.
we both had a really good time together watching it. It's very self-aware. It's very like it just has fun, honestly. Like that's the thing is like
Yeah.
it just has fun and it doesn't care. You know, it's
Yeah.
not trying to win an award. It's not trying to be like Oscar
No,
bait. It's literally just like you go in,
a
you have a good
fun
time.
movie. Yeah.
Exactly. So I would if you have I mean if it when it gets on streaming, totally recommend watching it. Set up a date night, get yourself some pizza, popcorn, soda, like chill in the
Pop your
room.
cherry. It's great.
Fuck it, get some cherry pie for goodness sakes and have a great time. Have some
Get some
cherry
cherry
pie
pie.
for
You heard
Sherry.
it here.
But overall, though, everybody, we want to say thank you again for, coming here to the tavern, spending some time with us. Uh, if you're on YouTube, let us know in the comments below. What's your favorite type of pie to have? And if you say cherry, Silver's gonna be like, I can see it.
Damn right.
Um, or like, let us know a movie that you think we should go watch or a show that we should go watch. And we're always looking at our comments. We're always wanting to engage. And please don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast.
Especially our
Um,
haters.
yeah. We're watching you, all those who
Hey,
got
we
mad at
love
us
you.
for the dangers
Thank
in my
you.
heart.
I appreciate that. Keep commenting those negative things. I love it. It helps the algorithm. It helps us be more describable. So you go ahead and comment. You tell me and Anbu how wrong we are and how much we don't know what we're talking about. We appreciate it because that helps us out a lot. So keep doing that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Random internet weirdos that have nothing else going on in their lives.
Well, anyway, everybody, please don't forget to pay your tabs. Um, Pet the ninja kitties. Just be careful where you try to pet them because you know how cats are. Um, and we'll see you when we see you.
Bye, weirdos.